Alright, so this is the token vendor DApp from SpeedRun Ethereum, and we will be converting this web application to a mobile application using ETH Mobile. Let's get started. So using this, following the guide from ETH Mobile, first thing I'll do is to clone the repo. And first I'll get rid of the scaffold ETH local chain to avoid some conflicts. And I will head on over to my projects folder and clone the repo, and I'll call this project the token vendor project. Okay, cool. So now that that's cloned, I will navigate into the project folder and install the packages. So that's installed. ETH Mobile is built with React Native, so it supports Android and iOS, but I'll be running this application on iOS, and for that I need to install the pods. So I'll navigate into the React Native project folder, of course, and install the pods. And this will install the pods necessary for running our application on iOS. Alright, so now that the pods have been installed, we can navigate back to our home folder, and then we open up our project. To the left, I have ETH Mobile, and to the right, I have Scaffold ETH. And the beauty of ETH Mobile is that ETH Mobile's architecture is in a way similar to Scaffold ETH's architecture. We see it uses hard hats, much like Scaffold ETH, which means that we can actually bring in our contracts, deploy scripts and test scripts into ETH Mobile. And it uses React Native, which is basically React, much like Next.js, which means that most of our logic from Next.js can be moved into the React Native side of things, ETH Mobile, right? So this is basically what we're going to be doing. And to make this easier for us, we'll be doing this with AI, because AI is awesome. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is to run our local chain. And we'll do that from the root folder by running the yarn chain command. And after that, from another terminal, we'll deploy our contracts. But this deploys the default contract, which comes with Scaffold ETH, a baby contract. But we need our token vendor contract. So what do? Let's move our contracts from hard hat. So we'll get rid of this from Scaffold ETH, and we'll move these two contracts into this. And we also need to move our deploy scripts. So we're basically stealing, and I'll steal this in. And then we'll also get rid of our test scripts. So I get rid of this, and I move these two into this. So we are basically stealing contracts from Scaffold ETH. Nice. Alright, so if I run the tests, I run yarn tests from the root folder, do they pass? No, they don't pass. Why don't they pass? This is because the Solidity version used here, 0.28 points. The Solidity version used here is not compatible with the Solidity version which comes with Scaffold ETH Mobile. So what do? Well, we can either change the compiler for this, or we can change the version up here. Alright, so instructions here say not to modify the Solidity version, but this is because it comes from SpeedRun Ethereum. We could change this to 28. We could also change this to 28, and let's see how that works. Does it pass? And yes, so our tests pass just by copying our tests, just by copying the contracts from Scaffold ETH to ETH Mobile. It works automatically because, like I said, ETH Mobile's architecture is similar to Scaffold ETH's architecture. All right, so what does this contract do? This contract basically enables users to buy tokens with ETH and withdraw their tokens, and also sell tokens back to the contract and get back their ETH, of course. That's basically what the contract does, right? So now that our test pass, we need to run our front end. But now here's the tricky thing. Your iOS simulator cannot actually access localhost, which is why the local chain is hosted on your local IP address, which means that you must be connected to your Wi-Fi to be able to run your local chain and to interact with it from your iOS app. Now, to determine your local IP address, you run ipconfig, you basically run this command. Hit enter, and this is your local IP. And then you take that, navigate into the ETH mobile config file, and right here where you have this, you paste your IP. And just like that, you've configured a hard hat network to interact with your local blockchain. And now, since you've done that, you can then deploy your contracts. Okay, so you kickstart the app server, and once that's done, we run our app on iOS. Cool. Awesome, so that worked. So the first thing we need to do is to set up our wallets. For that, we'll create a password which will be used to encrypt our wallet's data and to log in into our app. Right, so we view your seed phrase. Make sure you write down your seed phrase, and voila, welcome to ETH Mobile. So here's your wallet, and we are going to need some ETH to interact with our app. So we get 1 ETH from the faucet, and this is your contract debugger, of course. And we can see how many tokens are available. Right, we see the ETH balance, no read methods, some write methods, yeah. But we're not going to be using this to interact with our app, right? We're going to create our own app, and for this, we'll be doing this in the home screen. So first, to get rid of the default setup over here, and this is where it gets interesting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use AI to convert what we have from Scaffold ETH here to React Native here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell AI, say, yo, take what we have in here and replicate it in here. And I'll expand my screen for this. So what I'll say is replicate this and let's see what AI does. Okay, seems we are done. So let's accept all of this and let's see what AI has produced. Okay, so not the best UI, to be honest. Absolutely not the best UI. But let's see if it works. So say I want to buy 10 tokens, right? I select 10 tokens, I hit buy, and does that work? All right, so that's a success, and nothing happens. All right, so safe to say AI did most of the work, right? But there's still some key things that need to be adjusted here. So first of all, Scaffold ETH uses a use watch balance hook to watch for balances on an interval basis, right? For ETH Mobile, we have a watch prop or parameter which we can use, and yeah, by making just that one change, we see that everything works perfectly. So currently we have 0.1 ETH. As you can see, if I buy, let's say I buy 20 and I hit buy and I confirm, and this confirmation modal this is all because we use the write contract async hook from use scaffold write contract. All right, so we hit confirm, and voila, it's successful, right? And then now we have 0.3, and yeah, everything works, right? And if I go in here to sell, I could even check the balances, right? So see my token balance is 10. All right, so this isn't being updated, parameter is fine. So what I will do is I will also add the watch parameter over here as well. And boom, here we see we have the watch. If I buy another 10 and I confirm, and we see that it's updated real quick, right? I buy another 10. Let's say I buy 5, right? Let's just buy 5, right? We hit confirm, and it's updated. Successful. Nice. Now let's sell 15. Let's just sell 15. First, we need to approve. We see we're in the approve function. We sign. And is it approved? Yep, it's approved. So we hit sell, and we sell the token. If it's successful, our balance will drop. Oh, nice. So you see our balance dropped. Hey, that's cool. Nice. All right. So that worked perfectly. So now let's test the transfer tokens function, right? So what we're going to do is to create another account, which will create a new account. We'll copy the address of that account, and we'll move on to this guy here. And so how many tokens does he have? 30. So let's transfer to the second account. We'll paste this. Let's transfer 15. Let's just say 10 or 7. Let's just transfer 7 tokens. All right. So let's send these tokens over. And yeah, successful. Nice. So now we have only 23 left here. And if I switch to the second account, we have 7 tokens here. So you see it works. And this is all generated by AI, by the way. Give or take a few watch parameters we needed to add. But it's really that simple to build or to convert your Scaffold ETH apps to mobile apps using ETH Mobile. Right? Cool. And if you wanted to buy tokens with the second account, we could get 1 ETH from the faucet, go in here, let's say we purchase 13 tokens, which will cost us, and boom, we have 20 tokens already. It is successful. Nice. Yeah, so that's it.